Welcome to another episode of Cosmic Conversations. I am your hostess, Marla Martenson, and today I am so excited because we're going to talk about ghosts and talking boards and all sorts of mystical things. I have Barry Strohm with me. Hey, Barry.
Hello, how are you?
I'm awesome. This is such an honor because we are both talking board enthusiasts, so we're going to have some great conversations. So, Barry is the current owner of the Golden Lane Antique Gallery in New Oxford, Pennsylvania, and it's one of the most haunted structures in the country. So, so before I pressed, go on here, we were chatting a little bit about it, and I wanted to save it because I have to hear this story. Tell us about how you didn't believe in ghosts and what happened and why now you are doing paranormal photography.
Well, I have a scientific background. I have a civil engineering license, a business degree, a minor in statistics, minor in geology. I was a stone quarry and construction all my life, and I just never believed in ghosts. I thought there were absolutely no way anybody believing in ghosts would have to be smoking pot. We're from California, one of those two things. So that was
you sound like my husband. He doesn't believe in ghosts, so maybe he will after he watches this interview.
Well, yeah. So I bought this place 30 years ago, and it was an old warehouse, about 30,000 square foot, dated back to 1877. And we converted it to an antique gallery. Mm-hmm. And I didn't have much to do with it. I was doing other things. I had a staff that took care of it. And they kept telling me about all these crazy things that were going on in the building. And I said, okay, you got to start smoking something else. Or drinking more water would help. And about 10 years ago, I started to have to spend more time back here. And I started to realize that there actually was something going on. I went to a friend of mine that was involved with a paranormal group, brought his group in for an investigation. And I got teamed up with a psychic. And I never even believed in psychics before. Right. And we're back. All the lights are out. We're in the far corner of the store. And she's sitting there and she's going, I'm hearing this little girl. And she's telling me she wants to take us to show her a pink doll. And I'm thinking, yeah, and I'm hearing, snowflakes hitting the roof and it's summer. So I had a K2 meter. They gave me a K2 meter. I didn't know what the hell it was for. So I'm holding this K2 meter. And the psychic says, I'm hearing that the name of the little girl is Clarissa. So I said, okay, I'd watched a couple of ghost shows, so I figure I know a little bit what's going on here. So I said, well, Clarissa, can you make my K2 meter blink? And the damn meter starts blinking crazy in my hand. I said, okay, so maybe there is a little something to this. Mm-hmm. The psychic says again, she wants to show us her pink doll. And I said, well, Clarissa, can you make it blink once for yes and twice for no? So K2 meter blinks one time. Mm-hmm. Goes right across the whole scale and bloop, one time. I said, okay, show us your pink doll. So we started across the floor in the pitch dark, come to the first aisle, and I said to her, Clarissa, do you want me to turn left? Blinks twice for no. Okay, we go to the next aisle. Clarissa, would you like to turn here? Blinks twice for no. Okay. Come to the third aisle. Should I turn here? And it blinks once for yes. So we turn left, start down this aisle, and all of a sudden we lose all contact. Psychic says, I can't talk. I'm not getting anything. She's gone. Mm-hmm. I says, all right, well, that was pretty cool. So about a half an hour later, we're taking a break, and I'm turning the lights on. I'm coming back the hallway from the opposite direction, and I look up where we lost her, and the display case is a little pink doll.
Oh, I just got chills.
She had led us 150 foot through a dark store and took us right to this pink doll of hers that she was playing with.
Oh, gosh.
So I bought the doll and I have it on display here at the store. It's here every day. And Clarissa's still with us. I can talk to her in the ghost box most any time. And sometimes I can even get her to hold the hand of a guest when it comes in.
And they feel something, some tingling or something?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I had a woman coming. We were doing a board session with her. Mm-hmm. Never done it before. Comes in, she says, I've never had a paranormal experience before. I says, all right, well, come on back here. And I said, Clarissa, would you hold her hand for her?
Mm-hmm.
About 30 seconds later, I hear this scream, and it goes, somebody just grabbed my hand.
Oh.
And I, what in the hell do you think I just asked for?
Right.
You put that down in your book as your first experience.
Wow. So. And so you were saying that you also see them in the security camera.
Yeah, every night when we shut down, I watch them on the security cameras. We have a portal downstairs. We used to do our board channeling down in the basement near the portal, and we had so much traffic and interference from the spirits, we had to bring it upstairs and build a special room to get away from the portal.
So what do you see when you're looking through the camera? What types of things happen?
Well, we see. I have videos of shadow figures. We have apparition. Mostly, we see the orbs. Okay. But when you take a picture of the orbs, you'll see faces in the orbs. And I can actually go down in the basement, hold my hand out, and ask them to sit on my hand. And on the video, you'll see an orb come and sit right in my hand like that.
Now, have you I looked at your website and I saw some amazing photos of some ghosts and things like outside. And but have you posted any of these videos from the security camera on your website or pictures?
Well, we have another website called ghostsofgoldenlane.com.
Okay.
I've got some of their videos and pictures from the store here.
Okay.
That are on that site. So, I mean, I literally have more pictures than I know what to do with. So.
And what type of, when you're into paranormal photography, when you're outside and trying to catch things, what kind of a camera do you use? Does it matter? Can you use your iPhone, or do you have to have a special camera?
Well, I use a light bar with 3 cameras on it. And I'll have 3 different types of cameras, and I have them set. One of them is always infrared. And I'll have one set with there's certain tricks to taking pictures that I learned through the years. You have to have a real fast shutter speed. You got to push your flash. So I do an ASA of around 1600 to push the flash out, shoot real fast. And you have to have manual focus. So you set your manual for about 20, 30 foot. Because the spirits are moving so fast, it screws up autofocus.
Oh, okay.
That's why you get a lot of bad results on it. So, no, there's a lot of tricks.
Well, what I was doing for a while until I thought it was spirits and orbs, and then I thought maybe it was just dust. But I'll take my iPhone and put it on video, and then I'm not recording, but I put in the dark, put the flash, and I can watch orbs going by at different speeds, different dimensions, different colors, and I was so excited. But then someone on the internet had done this experiment and just shook a blanket, and then it looked the same. So what do you think about that?
Well, when they can make one, when you can stop it and have a smiling face in that orb, you talk to me about it. I've taken several on the battlefield of ghost dogs. I have animal heads in the orbs.
Oh.
I have almost anything in an orb you would want. Most of the photography I do is on the Gettysburg battlefield. It's only about 8 miles from here. I have pictures of drummer boys, young kids in orbs, all kinds of stuff.
So we'll see that. Well, I'll put the links to your website down below. So that's cool. So after the encounter with Clarissa, you were a full-blown believer, right? That was it. There? Well,
I figured something was going on, so I started taking photographs here in the store, and I mean, I started to shoot some amazing photographs. I had this big blue orb one night, and then there was this picture of this very clear woman's heads in this blue orb, and I looked at it, and about 3 days later, I flipped the lights on, and I saw a woman in a white dress go down the aisle in front of me, right where I took the orb picture.
Wow.
So I actually saw the apparition a couple days later, and we've just had all kinds of confirmation in here. I mean, there's no question.
Well,
now that I'm sensitive, I can actually just see them.
There's a photo on your one of your websites of somebody, a detective or something, looking, and there's a woman right behind, clearly the face of this woman behind him. I mean, it was.
Oh yeah, that's the woman in the mirror.
Oh, that's the woman in the mirror. Yeah, she looks like a middle-aged lady.
That was the same night, same investigation where I was introduced to Clarissa.
Oh, okay. Wow.
No, they had it all set up. There was no doubt that night they were convincing me that they were here.
And do you ever see furniture moving or doors opening and closing, or more just orbs and apparitions?
No, they'll lock the doors on us, turn the lights off. We'll shut down here at night, turn the lights off, and I'll be at the alarm, and I'll look over my shoulder, and I'll see a whole string of lights are turned back on.
Oh.
And I know I just turned them off. And I've stood there and actually watched the light switch go click, and the whole string of lights goes off on a Saturday with all the people in the store.
Well, it sounds like every spirit coming through are very friendly. You're not scared at all.
Oh, no. We actually have 8 people here that worked here when it was a shoe factory. Because we channel with them and talk to them all the time.
Oh.
So they're our friends. They're not a big,
Right.
We treat them as friends.
And did your wife believe in ghosts before this? Was she a skeptic?
Yeah, pretty much. She's totally in, obviously, now. I mean, we do the board together and everything. So.
Okay, well, let's get to the board, because I'm a big board fan, and as you guys watching might know, and Barry knows, that Karen Dahlman and I do a video series called The Women of Ouija, and we talk about boarding. And
actually look at it, and they are very good shorts that you do. They're excellent.
Thank you. We have so much fun with them. So we're going to be doing some next week, and some Valentine one and all that. So we always do the holidays too. So tell me how you got into the board, and your board is a special board. You created it. I think the spirits told you how to create it. Let's hear. I want to hear about that.
It's kind of a long story. I mean, now that we're really totally into this supernatural thing.
Okay.
We understand just how much of our lives are prearranged. When we come in now, you have a book of life, and there's things, and all this stuff is set up in front. And now that we can actually talk to the spirits that help set it up on the other side, we have a total understanding of all this that took place. So our home is out in Park City, Utah, even though I've got this stupid ass business back here in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
So about 7-8 years ago, my wife gets called for jury duty, and we were maybe a year into the paranormal thing here, and I was taking photographs, getting ready to write the first book, and doing some stuff. So anyway, she goes into jury duty, and she meets this woman, sits next to her in the jury. They become friends. We have dinner with them and start to talk, and about a year later, Connie confesses to this woman that, I'm kind of involved in the paranormal. Mm-hmm. And this woman says, well, then I guess you won't mind me telling you that we've been doing this for 30 years.
Wow.
And that my parents were and her parents were actually nationally known psychics. And they had been using the channeling board for this 30-year period. And they had developed a design, and their board was round, had a glass top on it, and they would actually use a shot glass in place of the planchette. So they'd sit on each side, and they would ask their questions. And they had advanced the design, and they were doing it for probably over 30 years with people out in the Salt Lake area. Mm-hmm. So they invited me to come to a session. Okay. So I go into this session, and all of a sudden the board starts out, "Hello, Barry." I went, uh-oh. And they start telling me things that took place back in Pennsylvania. Mm. So they're solving, I'm not even asking the questions, and they're going through this list about ghosts that I've seen. And I'm going, holy crap, this is real. So I asked them if I could do it, and I just got involved with it and started doing it. And so we initially copied their board and started out with their board. And then as we advanced with it, we actually asked the guides what modifications they wanted to do to their design. Mm-hmm. So they took some commands off. For instance, on the original board, they had "ha ha ha" on it for laughing. And the guy said, "You need to take that off because we can laugh for ourselves."
Yes.
So they'll come in and go "ha ha ha" when they want to do it. They'll spell it out.
Right.
So we took commands off, moved some stuff around, and then they gave us a prayer of protection. Mm-hmm. And they said, first of all, they gave us all these instructions. They said, absolutely never, ever ask for evil. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The worst thing you can ever do is ask for evil to come through, right. Because if you even mention it, the chances are you're going to see it. Mm-hmm. And so we never have. Then they went out and they gave us a prayer of protection. So I'm gonna read that to you.
Yeah,
These
please.
are the words that the guides gave us.
Wonderful.
It goes, God, please grant us your wisdom and protection. Grant us the knowledge that we can handle and keep us safe from all things that will harm us. Keep the messages positive and pure love. Keep us safe from our own ego. We ask these things in the light of the seen, the unseen, and the honesty of God. Mm-hmm. And we start every session with that prayer. And they told us to make a copy of it and actually glue it to the bottom of the board.
Oh, great idea. I think I'll do that. I'm going to take your suggestion and do that.
So that you have a permanent protection.
Yeah.
And, I mean, we're at the point now we've done well over 400 hours.
Right.
I mean, we've really done a lot of this. They protected us. The guides we've had them try to come through on us. They've absolutely just shut the session down. Everything goes dead.
Okay.
They've stopped sessions. We've been fully protected in everything we've done.
So you have the same guides that come through all the time?
Different ones.
Okay. How many would you say, or how many would you say that you work with?
One night I asked my master guide, I said, how many guides do I have working for me? And his answer was, as many as you need. Mm-hmm. And I always go into, when I'm doing these books, they're work sessions. So I will go in and I have all my questions lined up. So I may go in with as many as 10 pages of questions.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll tell them in my prayers the night before, I'll tell them what I'm doing, what I want to do, the areas I want to cover. I started off a session one night, and I said, is my guide here? And they said, yes, there are a panel of us tonight. Mm-hmm. They had brought 12 different guides to handle the different areas that I was going to discuss.
Oh, okay, wonderful. Well, yeah, and when I do it, the board, I do it alone. Usually, I mean, sometimes I'll do it with my friend Linda Salvin. I'll go over there. She's a psychic, but usually I'm just alone because I don't have anybody with it. My husband's not going to touch it. So he did try it once with me, and it didn't work because he doesn't believe in it. He thinks I'm just moving it, so it's not going to work if somebody doesn't the energy. But I just really get my two main angels. Mirth comes in, and then my second in command, Thomas, and that's pretty much it. Sometimes I'll get I got an alien come in. So talk to us about the aliens, because I did have an extraterrestrial come in and introduce himself, and that was like, and I can't, people will say, oh, it's your subconscious, or it's your, I wouldn't have tried to think of that. I didn't even think about an alien coming in, and it came in and spelled his name. So I know it wasn't me, just in the subconscious on it.
No, it's not you. I was working on these books, and I was curious about aliens, so I started asking a couple questions just to my guides about it. And one night, my guide he said, we're going to introduce you to another guide that can answer all your questions because he is one. And I said, is one what? I said, oh, he's an alien. Uh-huh. I said, okay. So the next session we did, in comes our blue alien spirit. And as it turns out, they have the same souls we have. Mm-hmm. Mu on his planet, he worships the same God we do. Mm-hmm. And as it turns out, I've reincarnated on his planet, and he's reincarnated here on Earth.
Right. We don't just reincarnate on Earth. That's right. And one day Earth will be gone, so we'll be still reincarnating on other planets.
Yeah, I'll give you a way to think about that that'll kind of brings it to light for me.
Okay.
Your soul energy basically started at creation, correct? Mm-hmm. Okay. Mankind has only been on this earth for roughly 250,000 years. Mm-hmm. So where do you think your soul was before mankind came on this planet?
Right.
You were doing the things the other cultures. Mm-hmm. Your soul reincarnated on the other planets, and you were participating with the aliens on that.
Right.
On that planet. So your soul had to be somewhere long before that.
That's right. Yeah. Different dimension, different planes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Assuming that you're accepting that universal energy concept of your soul, right, which I strongly do.
Right. Well, to just circle back to the porthole in the board, most people are fearful of the board. They say, Ouija board, you're doing a Ouija. Oh my God, that's dangerous. And the first question is always, oh, what if a demon comes in? Aren't you afraid a demon's going to come in? And it's never like, wow, really cool. Who are you contacting? It always goes to the evil. And I think that's from movies, The Exorcist, from whatever. So it really gets a bad rap.
I get so tired of hearing that crap.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Zozo or all these, scary negative things. And
There's absolutely nothing scary about it. I mean, we even had the Blessed Mother come in one night in one of our sessions for one of our guests. I mean,
it's a great tool.
When you feel that type of energy.
It's a beautiful tool to use, and I wish more people were just curious about it instead of fearful about it. And so that portal, can you really feel the energy there, or tell us a little bit about that portal?
Oh, I can feel the energy when it comes through.
Mm-hmm.
I'll know during the sessions it's not unusual to have multiple guides changing hands and coming in for us, and you can feel the energy change. And every once in a while you'll have a lower level spirit try to come through, because once that channel's open, they're looking for that opportunity to come through for you. So you'll have a strong guide on, and all of a sudden you feel that energy go, and all of a sudden, and you start getting some bad letters.
Right.
I mean, we'll immediately say, okay, ask who it is, tell them to get the hell out of here. This is not what we're doing.
Yeah.
And if we can't get our guide back, we'll we'll just stop.
Right.
And they told us in the beginning, they said, if you are ever worried about what's taking place, just simply take your fingers off the glass and stop it.
Yeah.
I don't think the board's any different than working with a ghost box. You open a channel for a ghost box, and we open a channel with the board.
Right, and as well as using tarot cards or using runes, or there's so many divination tools that we use to connect.
Or even a light trance.
Yeah.
I mean, as I've progressed now, I've been able to get into light trance and just be able to repeat spirit words.
Me too. I'm automatic writing now. And I love that.
I haven't been able to do that yet.
I start on the board, and then I move my hands onto the keyboard on my computer, and I channel the writing. And then if I can't hear something, I go back on the board and grab a word, and then come back. So it's been pretty exciting.
I haven't got that far yet.
Well, but Barry, I bet you could if you tried it. I didn't think I could either, but I said I'm going to give it a try, and I told my angel I want to try this, and then it worked. So give it a try.
Yeah, one of my wife's spiritual advisors is Mother Teresa.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's really cool. She'll come in for her. But a couple months ago, I managed to transfer her and let Mother Teresa come in through me and give her the messages to my wife.
Well,
so that was really cool.
That's beautiful. So you've written quite a few books, and also on your website you've got predictions. So I saw a prediction up there about the next terrorist attack in Chicago.
Yeah, I think what they're considering is all this murder rate in Chicago. I think it's taking place right now, because I just think they're referring to American terrorism. They had killings this month so far.
People are being terrorized. They're being terrorized over there.
Yeah. So I think that one's just been dead on for the last year for what's coming.
So
they've really tried to back off on future predictions for me. I tried to get some out of them last night, and they're saying, what good does it do to promote fear among people? Because if I come out with something like California's going to have an earthquake next year, then people are afraid, and that's taken away from the energies that they should be feeling.
That's true. We should get ready, though, because we're due for maybe a big earthquake. And I always keep a lot of water in the garage because I'm out here in Los Angeles. And I told my husband we've got to get a little camping stove, and I still haven't got that. So it's a good reminder to be prepared, though, for any kind of...
we did hear last year that you were going to have one within 2 years.
Los Angeles or San Francisco?
Yeah.
Los Angeles?
Yeah, they're getting close. I would be a little careful out there if I lived there.
Yeah, maybe I'll be on vacation when it happens.
Yeah.
So you also talk to popes, saints, and cats.
We have. Not necessarily in that order,
right.
But we have.
Yeah.
We had several times we talked to Pope Sylvester I, And he was the Pope when Constantine selected the Gospels in 325 at the Council of Nicaea. And he told us what went into the selection of the Gospels. And there were like 300 presented, and they chose, 67 or something like that? And turned down, like Mary Magdalene's Gospel was turned down because she was a woman. And they actually turned down the Gospel of Jesus Christ.
Okay.
Because in his Gospel, he taught reincarnation and alien beings.
Right, and he was very like New Age, what we consider today. So.
Yeah. No, there's 18 years of his life that we don't appear in any written records. It was destroyed.
Right. Well, he's, Tina Spalding channels Jesus, and she's got a YouTube channel, Channeling Jesus, and she's written the autobiography of Jesus that he channeled through her, and he says he was in India and in the, East studying meditation and studying all of these.
What did he say about his personal life in that? What did she say?
He said that he was married to Mary Magdalene, and that was the love of his life, and that they had children, and that it was a normal birth. It was not an immaculate conception, and that it was and he learned how to transcend the body, and that's what he learned in India. So on the cross, he says he didn't die on the cross, and then he had left, so maybe it made it look like it. You know how some of those meditators, the Indians, they can look like they're dead. They slow down their heart, they slow down all the organs and everything. And then he says he went and moved to the south of France with Mary Magdalene and was very quietly raising his family. This is what he said. Now, some people will hear this and if they're Catholic or something, that's blasphemy, and they'll get really angry. But I'm just repeating what was channeled through Tina, and they wrote in the book. But it all the way that book is. I read it. It makes so much sense. It feels right.
Yeah. We actually channeled with the person in his reincarnation of one of his sons.
Oh, okay. Well, see, and then so this brings me to the question that people might ask, and I even ask. So, how do you really know that's who's coming through? Maybe people will say, no, I don't believe this one, but they'll say, but demons always pretend to be, angels or fairies, and they're just trying to get you to trust them till they can take over your body, or how do you know that it's really them and it's not just some trickster talking? So what are your thoughts on that? Now, I don't believe that my guides are demons and ready to take over my body, because I've been doing it for 3 years and I get beautiful, wonderful messages and never have any bad feelings. So I don't believe that at all. So what's your take on that?
Well, we've been doing it now for about 8 years.
Okay.
And we've done an awful lot of board channeling. In those times, we have had some of the most spiritual and religious messages that anybody can imagine. And I mean, the message that we receive, if you're going to be a devil, you aren't giving out the messages that we're getting.
Right.
I mean, right now they're really focusing on trying to get us to raise your vibrations, and try to move yourself into the fourth dimension. They're talking about love, and they're trying to do away with the hatred. All the messages we're getting are just so incredibly positive.
Yeah.
And I just had a ghost walk by out here. That's what I was looking at.
Oh, wow.
So, oh yeah.
Maybe we'll see an orb fly through later. Sometimes when I watch the videos after the recording, I can see things that I couldn't see when we were talking.
Yeah, no, I heard the creak out there on the floor and looked up. That's what it was.
Hey, ghost, come on in and get an interview. I like to interview the ghost. But yeah, so I'm a big fan of channeling too. I like to watch Daryl Anka channel Bashar, and of course, and Esther Hicks, and then of course Tina Louise Spalding is amazing. So, but sometimes you do see people channeling the same spirit, and then there's some different answers. And there's channeling Eric. I like that YouTube site. They channel this woman's deceased son comes through different mediums, and they channel.
Oh, we've done things. I mean, we were doing a session one night. We had this couple come in, and I was working with another psychic, and she says, I'm seeing a baby. And we go, have you folks ever lost a child? And the woman goes, yeah, we lost one, in about 4 months. We never get, and all of a sudden we're getting this message, the soul of this baby's coming through on the board.
Uh-huh.
And it says, would you mind giving me a name?
Oh.
I've never had a name, and I would love to have a name. So I look at the couple, and I said, did you have a name picked out? It was a boy.
Uh-huh.
And she goes, yes, we were going to call it, I think, Clyde or something like that. And the message comes back, thank you so much. Now I have a name.
Wow. Interesting.
Uh-huh.
Interesting.
No, we didn't. Believe me, the things we've done.
That is wild. So, so I was going to say, tell me about the cats coming through.
Oh, cats. Okay. We lost our cat probably 8-9 years ago now. He was a registered Tonkinese. He was 15 years old. I mean, he was so close to us that we vowed we'd never have another pet. So we started to find out that we could actually channel animals. Mm-hmm. As a matter of fact, when Karen was in Baltimore at the show 2 years ago, at the WouijaCon show, uh-huh. She and I channeled her cat Bear that was from California. Uh-huh. So we found out we could do this. So one night we're channeling. So I request and my cat's name was Bodhi. Mm-hmm. Okay. So I said, may I have the spirit of Bodhi come through? And all of a sudden it goes, hi, 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 hi. I was thinking you would never ask. Aww. So anyway, we start channeling with him, and we talked about, his prior life. And I said, would it be possible to have you come back for us? We'd love to have you back. Mm-hmm. So he tells us, I will return to you in 13 months. Mm-hmm. I will be a black cat, and I will find you at the store. Within 1 week of when he says, a black kitten finds us in the most miraculous way at the store. Oh my God! Just walks in your store or something, or? No, it's even more crazy than that. The woman I chat the psychic when we really do a work session, it takes 3 of us. So Connie will usually do the notes. Donna will come over. She's a psychic, mm-hmm. and she and I'll get on the board. And we'll fly through 4 or 5 pages of notes, and Connie will take them. Uh-huh. So anyway, Donna knew nothing about Bodhi coming back, okay? Her father had passed down in Baltimore many years ago, and his grave's down in Baltimore. Mm-hmm. So she's in Baltimore tending to her father's grave, goes over to the caretaker's house at the cemetery, yeah. And women that are there say, we've got some feral cats. Would you be interested in taking any of them? Mm-hmm. Donna says, no, I've got pets, but I'd love to see them. Yeah. She goes over, and this little black kitten walks up on the edge of the porch, walks over and looks her right in the eye, mm-hmm. turns around and goes back under the porch. Donna has no idea the significance of this. Mm-hmm. A couple of weeks later, we're channeling, and I asked the guide, I said, is Bodhi back? And the guy comes back and says, is this Bodhi you're speaking of a cat? Mm-hmm. I say, yes. And Donna goes, oh, my God, I've seen him in Baltimore. Oh. And I go, so I asked the guy, I said, is the black cat she saw in Baltimore Bodhi? And the answer comes back, yes. Uh-huh. So we go down. So the story's not over. Okay. So we go down to pick him up. The next day we're charging down to Baltimore because this is in a week of when he says he's coming back. Yeah. So we go down, and it's like 4 o'clock in the afternoon to get to the cemetery. We go over, and we got cat food, carrier, the whole trick. Mm-hmm. And we go over, and this little black kitten comes up, walks over, looks at my wife, Connie, mm-hmm. stares at her right in the eye, like saying, hi, I'm back. Yeah. And runs right back under the porch. Uh-huh. This little orange cat comes out and looks at her and plays around, and that goes under the porch. Mm-hmm. there is no way we can get this damn little black cat to come out. We had cat food. Now, you can imagine a feral cat not coming out for cat food.
Yeah.
Okay. We give up, and we come back up to Baltimore without him, and we both get messages. And at the same time, we're hearing, I want to have company. I want my brother.
Oh.
So we come back up, get on the board, ask the guide, is he going to come up if we bring the second cat along?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
2 days later, we drive back down the road, pull in, Bodie walks up, we pick him up. This little orange cat comes out next to him. We pick that up. We got 2 cats, and we're up the road within 15 minutes.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, because feral cats don't let you pick them up. I mean,
no. I mean, it's just like we're out of there, and they were waiting for us to come back and pick their little asses up.
Oh.
So anyway, the orange cat, we're having trouble naming the orange cat. So we're playing with all these different names. So Donna was coming over to channel with us again. So I sent her an email, and I said, we're having a hell of a time picking a name. And she emails back, oh, I know what the name of your cat's supposed to be. I've been hearing it in my head for 2 days. So I got her on the phone, and I said, okay, what name are you hearing for this cat?
Right.
And she comes back and says, Daisy.
Mm.
I went, oh, my God. That was the name of my daughter's dog that passed 20 years ago.
Oh.
Get the board out, and I say, is this the soul of my daughter's dog? And it comes back, yes.
Uh-huh.
Somehow or other, those 2 little animal souls had arranged on the other side that they were coming back to us together.
So you named the black cat, you did name Bodie again?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, he told us he wants the same name.
Same name,
there was no question about him.
Oh, that is so cute.
Except him came back at her, and her came back at him this time. And
do you still have Bodie and Daisy now?
Oh, yeah.
This was
okay. Yeah, we named him. He turned out to be a boy, so we now call his name is now Leo. So it's Leo and Bodie.
Uh-huh. Oh, how cute.
But okay. Story on the website, but it's an incredible story. I mean, once you read it, you just simply can't not believe that there's animal soul families that follow you through your reincarnations.
Yeah, my little teacup Yorkshire Daphne, who I had for 17 years. Oh, I just miss her so much. And then Macy came into my life, and she's got the same personality, the same. Yeah. But I don't know if it's her. I was told that by a psychic that because Macy will always look, see the animals looking like they're looking at something, and the look on their face, they're like they see something. And even when she's gone like this and looked up, so I'm like, what is she seeing? What is she seeing? Oh, I asked it on the board. I said, what is Macy seeing? Is she seeing a ghost or my dad or something? And it said she's seen a dog. And I said, oh, is she seeing Daphne? And he said, yes, Daphne. Daphne's there with Macy. She's here with Daphne's with me all the time, and I see Macy looking all the time. So they must be friends energetically, like you said, you see ghost dogs. You see the pictures of them, so they're around.
Oh, I had pictures in my first book of a ghost dog.
Oh my God!
I had a ghost dog follow me in the battlefield. I photographed it like 6 different places out there.
Oh, that is so cool. I saw a YouTube video somebody took. They were filming their dogs playing in the house, and you see this ghost dog go right across the screen. It's like a transparent dog just running through.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So cool. That's nice to know that our pets still stay around us.
Oh, they're members of it. You have a pet soul family, just like you have a human soul family.
Oh, that's beautiful. I've got it. Now that we're talking about this, I'm going to try to connect with. I had a little cat I named Kitty Paw that I got at the age of 2, and we were best friends. And she died. She had a tragic accident when she was probably around 11 or 12. So I think I'll that was back in the 70s that she passed away. I'm going to try to connect with her.
Oh, you should have absolutely no trouble. Bodie's coming through on the board now and live. We were channeling over in the apartment the other night, Connie and I, and the cats were running around, and playing like they do. And we're getting these messages from the guides, and all of a sudden, right in the middle of a guide message comes the words, lap time.
Oh.
We were channeling instead of sitting on the chairs so the cats could sit on our laps. And I looked at it and said, well, you little shit, will you just let us channel, you know? No, we can talk to them now. You can do all this. Just ask for the spirits.
Yeah, I will. I keep forgetting to do that. I know Karen does that a lot. And she was even writing a book, channeling a book, I think one of her cats wanted to write. So that was pretty cool. Mm-hmm. So tell us about your latest book, Spirits. What is it called?
It's Spirits Speak of Conspiracies and Mysteries.
Okay, that sounds fascinating. Tell us a little bit about that.
I tackle 27 different conspiracies and mysteries that occurred through history, but I answer what happened by either speaking to the spirit that lived them or to the guides that give us the information to what happened.
Okay.
For instance, we channeled President Kennedy. Mm-hmm. He told us who fired the kill shot, who all was involved, who was behind it. Lyndon Johnson was behind his assassination. But he tells us who the shooters were.
So, quick question about that. So, of course, Kennedy wouldn't have known at the time when it happened, but as a spirit, he can see, because they know what's going on. They can see, that's what happened.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, when you're on the other side, time has essentially happened, and you can go forward or back with it and see it.
And, tell us another conspiracy that you tackled.
The one I think turned out to be one of George Patton. We channeled him 3 different times, and his conspiracy was just beyond any belief. Never expected what happened to him. He did not die in Germany. Mm. And it's a terrible conspiracy, what happened to him. And then I actually find out that he and my souls were together in 5 different lifetimes.
Oh, my gosh.
And he had actually come to me to write the story about what happened about him. So that's a very impressive story in the book.
Have you ever channeled? I'd like to know what happened to Hitler, because there's always these conspiracies that he ended up coming down to Argentina, or was he killed did he really kill himself at the time?
No, he didn't commit suicide. His officers killed him.
Oh, because he took they said he and Ava Braun took the cyanide and then shot himself in the head.
No, his officers killed him.
Oh my gosh! At his command, I guess.
No, they knew it was over, and they didn't want to push any further. So.
Oh, okay. And then Marilyn Monroe is another one. Did you, we always wonder, was it suicide, accident, murder?
Well, we did discuss the possibility. We did discuss this with Jack Kennedy.
Oh.
And he did speak freely about sleeping with her.
Yeah.
And her as a mistress.
Yeah.
But I did not want to pollute the conversation by asking if he killed her or anything, because I would want to focus on on the prize.
Right.
He was wonderful to talk to. When he came in, I said, "Would you like me to refer to you as Mr. President?" Mm-hmm. And he comes back and he says, "No, just call me Jack."
Oh.
So I called him Jack through the whole interview. So it's really kind of cool when you're.
Well, here's a question for you. So let's say Kennedy or a lot of these people like that Pope from how many years ago, from the biblical times, and Kennedy. This is so long ago, and then we talk about reincarnation. Maybe they've been reincarnated so many times, but is it still you can still connect with that one person that they had incarnated on this earth as, even though if they've gone on to live other lives? That's kind of complicated, huh?
That was a lot in one thing you spit out there. If they've come back, I have to rely on speaking to the guides and take the guide information. But what I always do is I test everything. For instance, we channeled with King Richard III because he wanted the truth known that he didn't kill his nephews. Mm. So I said, "You need to prove to me that I'm speaking to King Richard III." Mm-hmm. So he spells out the word Farthingay, which was the name of the castle he was born in.
Okay. And then you had to go and look that up, I guess. And
yeah, I looked it up and I realized that there's no way they pulled that one out of their butt.
Right. And that couldn't have been from your subconscious if you didn't know about that. And King Henry VIII would be interesting. I'd like to know, why were you chopping off your wife's heads? Why were you so brutal and mean? You'd like to talk to him.
I haven't talked to him yet. I think the coolest one in the book is the Lincoln conspiracy.
Oh, right.
because I started that with the whole idea of just trying to find out who was behind hiring John Wilkes Booth and who was behind it. Mm-hmm. Well, it was the Secretary of War that hired Booth, Stanton. And he also was in with Johnson, who would become president, who was the vice president that would take over when Lincoln was killed. But the cool part of the story is John Wilkes Booth was not killed in Virginia.
Oh, okay.
Stanton sets all this up to make it look like Booth was killed. Mm-hmm. They had actually captured a Confederate captain that looked a lot like John Wilkes Booth. Uh-huh. So they set the thing up, and they actually had autopsy pictures where no one can find the plates of the photographies.
Oh, right.
And they hung the 4 conspirators right away that could talk.
Yeah.
And then they go ahead, and Johnson, when he goes out as president, pardons all the other conspirators. Mm-hmm. So that was all part of the deal. But Booth escapes Virginia, goes to Kentucky. 3 years later, he marries a woman, and there is a marriage certificate in Kentucky that is signed John Wilkes Booth, John W. Booth.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, yeah.
And the woman's stepson finds out who he is. He panics and heads for the Texas frontier, buys a bar out there, lives for a while, and then he's going to marry. There's a woman in town going to marry a U.S. Marshal. Mm-hmm. Well, he's afraid that this Marshal is going to recognize him. So he hauls ass further out on the frontier, works as a bartender, does a bunch of stuff, and gets very sick, and actually does a deathbed confession out there that he's John Wilkes Booth.
Oh.
So then he heals up and lives after he's done this confession.
Oh, no.
Now he's really got a problem, right?
Yeah, now he's screwed.
He's got to leave town again. So he hauls ass and goes up to Enid, Oklahoma. Uh-huh. Okay? Now, when he did this confession, there's because I got to lead a little more into this. Okay. An attorney in Kentucky that had realized this, learned about this confession. So he's on the trail of Booth because he proved who he is.
Right.
So Booth goes up to Oklahoma, becomes an alcoholic and a house painter. Commits suicide in 1903. Okay? Now, nobody claims the body. So this attorney finds out that Booth is now dead, claims the body from the undertaker, and has it mummified.
Oh, my gosh.
They take the mummified body of Booth, and it was actually on display at the 1904 World's Fair. The attorney that owns Booth's body dies. The wife sells it to a carnival owner, and Booth's body is displayed at carnivals through the years. In 1930, some forensic guys out of Chicago got a hold of it and did a study, and there were like 27 similar points to the Booth. So this really was his body.
It really was, wow.
And the last time that Booth's mummified body was seen was at a carnival in the early 1970s in Pennsylvania.
And it's vanished now. That's the mystery. Where is it?
Yeah, it's probably out there somewhere.
Right. Well, the guides, maybe they can tell you where it is. You can go get it.
Yeah. But I actually found pictures in the United States Archives of Booth in the casket in Enid, Oklahoma, and a picture of his mummified body. And I have those in the book as part of the
chapter. Oh, my God. This book sounds fantastic.
Yeah, I would honestly say probably.
Yes, that's probably.
No, it's different. It's different. Like we talked to Butch Cassidy.
Oh.
And Butch Cassidy was just an alias for him. Okay. His real name was Leroy Parker.
Okay.
And in the interview, I said, "What do you want me to call you, Butch?" And he said, "No, call me Leroy."
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's he didn't die in Bolivia. He died in 1936 in the state of Washington.
Oh, in my state.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool, but I'll do the channeling, get the information, and then I go in and do all the historic research to back it up.
Yeah, it's fascinating the details you get. I mean, all the intricate details. But then then a lot of the things you can look up. Well, it's fascinating that a lot of these people that what was written in history is you're finding out is not correct.
Oh, unbelievable! I mean, there's so much that isn't correct in the history books. It's just I'm starting to work on a book now I'll probably be naming it "Spirits Speak of Unsolved Crimes."
Oh, that is cool. Well, like Jack the Ripper, I'd like to find out about that.
That's chapter, and I've already done the chapter on D.B. Cooper.
Okay. Yeah.
So I know what happened to D.B. Cooper.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Well, this is fascinating. Well, Barry, thank you so much for joining us and talking all things spirit and talking board. And it's been an absolute pleasure and fascinating. And everybody, his links are below where you can get his books and check out his websites with all the pictures of the spirits and ghost dogs and all of that. So let us know. Let us know what you've seen. Have you seen a ghost dog? Do you use the board? I want to hear about your adventures, you guys. All right. So much love and thanks, Barry.
Thank you. We ought to channel by Skype sometime.
Oh, that sounds like a good deal.